Yeah, should we start? Let's go.
Let's go. Hi, 大家好，我是表健康的思雨。
Hey, 大家好，我是表健康的通通。
Hey, I'm Julian. Hey, I'm Max. I want to say, hey, I'm Dada Hao. I do it again. Hi, I'm Max.
What's our topic today?
What is our topic? Indie music that we like. 2021 from China. That is correct.
It's our favorite release in 2021 in China. Before we start, I want to ask you guys, what do you think of the playlist? Is it easy for you to make your decision?
For me, it was kind of easy, but the quality overall was really high. There were some very specific bands that really appealed to me, so they were easy to pick.
Okay, so for me, it was the opposite. In the beginning, I was like, okay, that will be easy. Just looking for the freaky metal things. And eventually, none of them are in my list. It was such a strange experience. I was listening to all the songs and they were so good. I was so sucked into that. I spent like so many hours and then I put them in the next round and kind of my first best picks were like 19. So I had to move through multiple rounds listening to all of the songs from the third round with my wife, and we listened to all of them, and she was also like, "That's so good." And I was like, okay, this song I think I will not like so much. Then we listened to the song Dancing in the Room, and I was like, okay, I can't. It's just a clear 9.5. Eventually, I ended up with a list that really surprised me.
Yeah, also surprised me.
Yeah, surprised me a lot.
Yeah, me too. I was so off with my predictions for you.
Yeah.
I'm also really surprised by the numbers of great artists in this list. And this also, thanks to our followers, suggests so many great artists on the comment section. Yeah, thank you. They're really great.
Okay, so my number 5, we start with number 5, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would say my number 5 is the one that kind of surprised me the least in regards to myself. It is a super freaky, crazy electronic music song sound, and the artist is called Octura. So this is the one that's probably the easiest for me to say. The song I was listening to is called Cure, and it's this kind of breakcore electronica, but still with the beat. So it still has this kind of beat moving forward. A lot of this kind of music doesn't have a beat, and it's just like pure chaos. But this one kind of was like dancey, but crazy. And I was like, I remember I was dancing like. When I listened to it first, I was like, okay, I love this. This can end up on my hot 5. And this was, I think, the only song that kind of stayed there.
The artist, we haven't found a lot of information about him. He seems to be very young.
Max, can you guess how old is this artist?
So Tong Tong just said it before you could cut him off, that he seems to be very young.
Like how young?
This kind of music can be produced by talented 14-year-olds, right? So there's this whole movement of very, very young people creating beats for trap, often trap beats, trap hip-hop beats, but also this kind of stuff, because the tools are so available to everyone.
Actually, I also don't know how young he is, but he's born after 2000, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I recently saw a TikTok by some young guy, and he was just like sitting on his laptop and very concentrated. And the caption was something like, "Me spending more than 2 hours on the song." And I was like, that's not a long time. What's wrong with these Gen Z people?
Then Julian's turn.
My number 5 is Oh Dirty Fingers.
Oh.
What was the song called again?
毕永博 Bring in Bold. Yeah.
I found like an old interview that I thought was really, really charming. They have like kind of a chaotic vibe, kind of a DIY punk vibe, but they're also pretty musical for a punk band. It's very involved compared to like the usual 1-4-5 power chords that punk bands usually do. But they have this like punk spirit, free spirit kind of guys, and they're very chaotic, and I like that. I like I don't know which instrument it was, if it was a Chinese instrument, but it sounded like a flute. Emblematic of the chaotic but very musical style. It's like, I thought it was like naive music, but not. Like it sounds a little bit like just people playing around, but if you listen more closely, they clearly know what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely. So your number 5?
Okay, my number 5 is Wei Meng with the track Gong Gong. And it's from the...
It's all pinyin.
Yeah, it's all pinyin. Sorry, the characters are so difficult. And the album is 东方神庙. You can translate it as Eastern Temple or Eastern Shrine.
Do you remember this song? It's number 9.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's a very...
Really love that song.
Yeah.
It was very close for me too.
So as far as I know, this guy is from Inner Mongolia and he's classically trained and he also studied abroad. This song is inspired by traditional Chinese fairy tales. And I have this feeling that you really can hear it in the music. Yeah, there are a lot of different samples. There are vocal samples, but there are also percussion samples like gongs and bells. But more impressively were the vocal samples. They really sound like some sort of ancient religious chanting. If you remember, like this.
Really meditation.
But first and foremost, it had a really sick bass.
Yes. Extremely good production, mixing like Chinese elements with Western music. A lot of people are trying to do this combination, but I feel that a lot of people fail. They make this too shallow or too forced.
Yeah.
But this combination in this album sounds very natural to me. Yeah, I think the modern sound makes it more accessible for younger audience.
Okay, then we talk about number 4.
Now it's difficult. I will try to... I mean, should I even try?
Try. Do it.
But it will just sound ridiculous.
That's the point.
Wanzai Wu Song.
Not bad.
Yeah.
And the song is called 本质.
I mean, for me, the song seems to have a lot of lyrical content. It feels quite lyric heavy, and of course I didn't understand anything, but that's another problem. So the first thing that draws me into the song is the instrumentation. It's quite minimal. I mean, it's like a usual rock ensemble, drums, guitar, bass, but it's so toned down and kind of laid back. It sounds a little bit lo-fi. I really liked it. Like from the first second, there's not a lot happening, I would say. It's probably also quite a young band. It seems quite like unprofessionally recorded in the sense of self-made recorded. The vocals kind of really, on one hand, it seems to me like really a discrepancy between the instruments and the vocals, because she's singing quite high and like floating above the instruments. It's not so tightly together, but somehow that kind of made it even better. You had this layers, the vocal layer floating above, and then the kind of instrument layer like really below with a lot of room. I don't know, it reminds me of like this kind of self-made kind of punk grunge style records. There's one band called Chastity Belt. I really love the atmosphere. It's just, I don't know, also surprised me that this ended up there.
It's really interesting because when I hear Max's description of this vocal above everything, their band name is actually Hanging Above the Mist.
Ah, perfect.
Nice.
Then Julian's turn.
Okay, my number 4 is, I think, the most obvious Julian pick. And I want to see if anyone in the Damu can maybe guess it. Should be going by now.
This is so hard to guess.
No one will guess it.
But this is really, really you.
Yeah, this is just my pick. I want to try to pronounce the English name, which is really hard this time. The Chinese name is really easy to pronounce. It's Diman. The English name is, I think, Demon's Simuril.
I'm not sure.
We are not sure.
We're not sure.
Exactly. Also, the name of the song is kind of impronounceable. I think it's called Socić Fiea.
What language is it?
It looks like it's Polish mixed with Greek. It's a very interesting record. I listened to the whole album. Very involved. Like there's a lot of changing musicians. Some old friends like Xiao Jun is on it from Mandarin. It's this kind of guitar god type music that one guy would come up with. But it's also very symphonic. I don't think it's representative of like this typical old school guitar shredding style music. So it's not just like this one guy's vision. It's also that, but there's a lot of other stuff going into it. Max's description for the song kind of grew on me. Max said it sounded like just some prog type music with the Disney soundtrack playing in the background. And I think that really hits the nail on the spot, yeah.
And Disney is never dissonant.
No, not dissonant, but just it's very composer type music. There's no like simple song structure. It's all just motifs. Even the song's names are kind of like classical alluring, like movement 1, movement 2.
I think this time around, like even in my second round where I still had 19 the best songs, none of the songs that Julian picked in his top 5 were even close to this huge bubble of songs that I like.
I don't need a singer if the music is good enough. I really like the concept of like someone shredding but doing it in a very symphonic musical way and not in the usual like just posing.
I think I saw a short interview of him, and he's influenced, I think, by Frank Zappa. He likes Frank Zappa. And also he talked about he likes Jacob Collier, of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Okay, then your number 4.
Okay, my number 4 is 傻子与白痴, Fool and Idiot.
Full Idiot.
Full Idiot.
Yeah.
Yes, and the song is called 爱的万物论 from the album Year of Fate.
To those who have loved me, can say I was there as a hoe for 24, but I do exist in Dawn's home.
And you guys remember him?
月下
Show?
The very first episode of our 德下.
Good.
Who
First
is this guy?
episode, third song.
After Hyperslash.
What do you remember of this band?
We did like in the show, like the song that they played. It was one of the lyrics focused songs that didn't connect with us that much.
树影摇晃，周围人成群游荡。
I also remember the tattoos that he had to
The
cover up.
bandit?
Yeah.
Or everywhere, yeah.
What?
He has this like plaster, like
Yes, a lot of his skin is covered.
Oh, yeah. Because tattoo.
Of course. Oh, crazy.
So, did you also listen to this song? Do you think it's
course.
different?
Different singer this time. Female singer. I
No,
think.
no.
It's the same?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's quite different from the past performances.
For sure.
Yeah, I really love the song. I really liked it.
Yeah, me too.
Barely made my top 5.
I was really surprised by his vocal performance. I wasn't aware that he can sing this high. It's really like a piercing falsetto thing. And he has great technique. At some parts, he can do this glissando thing with his voice, like from one pitch to another note. Yeah,
delicate.
It's delicate, it's technical, and there are really great harmonies also in the performances. What also really surprised me was the production. The production was great. They had great piano, great string performances.
Do you remember a band called Mr. Graceless?
From Derme.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, same producer.
It's the same producer. It's Lu Qiwen, and he's really able to do a lot of good producing, like really hi-fi, really polished, and great arrangement, mixing. Everything is on the spot.
You can just dig out the best part of the band, I think. Yeah, finished? Top 3.
Number 3.
Number 3, yeah.
My number 3, it could also easily be my number 1. I mean, all of the top 3 could probably easily be on each of the spots because they're all so great. But this song in particular, it's so good. So I will try again. The name is Quan Chang.
What?
Quan.
No. It's Chun Xiang.
Q is like Chun. It's more like CH than
No,
K.
it's not CH.
No, it's not CH, but it's more like CH.
No, it's the German CH.
The German CH is
Not always.
not always true. Okay, so Chun
Chunxiang.
Xiang.
Xiang.
Yes.
Xiang.
快冰冷的石碑，刻上名字、时间和履历，给予所有的信息，都被以我所代替。
I don't want to say that it's better than the one before. It's not a value statement, but it sounds a little bit like the next evolution. I would say in the same breath, it's also like this very typical instrumentation, a voice that is high and kind of floating above, but this time the mix is way more sophisticated. Everything lays together much better. Not necessarily better. I mean, the other song is just a different style, I guess, in this regard. But this song, I don't know, from the first second when kind of the guitars come, it's kind of scream, and the drums have this very driven beat with a lot of snare rolls, but very laid back, like and the guitars like doesn't sound anything like the song, but maybe you understand. And the vocal performance is so fantastic. Actually, it sounds strange, but it actually what it reminds me the most of is Godspeed You. Of course, Godspeed You doesn't have singing, but especially the atmosphere and the performance of the instruments really evoke this atmosphere. And even later, then there's this part where the singing stops and then it goes over into kind of another melody. This melody reminds me so much of Godspeed You. And then it goes into this part where the singer stops singing and starts to speak. So there's this kind of spoken part. It's so good. And this part could also be, like a sample part in regards to Godspeed You, who use a lot of samples, and this part is for me so Godspeed You. I don't know why. I had this association, then I couldn't let it go. The song is just fantastic. I will definitely listen to. Can you send me a link to more or the record?
Definitely.
Maybe.
So the next one is Julian, right?
Okay, my number 3 is Su Zixu and the Paramecia. It's almost like Midwestern emo type of guitar playing. It sounds very Western, the guitar, but it's with Chinese lyrics, so I gotta love it. I wanted to talk about instrumentation because they have pretty interesting in this song. They have cello and violin, 2 string instruments, very uncommon for this type of music, but they make it work really well. And on the album, they have a bunch more instruments. There's like a brass section, and Tong Tong, I think, told me that they have like a lot of band members.
Yes.
So yeah, Su Zixu, I think he's a really hardworking guy. We are really familiar with this guy. This guy non-stop, he just worked through.
Yeah, maybe I should check out his other albums too. because he really appeals to me. Very Julian music.
I think he's a really organized, like a pretty bossy guy. He can.
Like you.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I am. But I can't organize so many musicians. It's really hard. I admire his ability for this a lot. And also the drummer was our ex-drummer, Xiao Yu.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
I introduced the drummer to him.
So you're basically credited for this album.
Yes. You can listen to this track because of me.
Great. 谢谢.
Yeah.
You're welcome. It's alright.
Do you have any associations? Because I have one. My association is Mother Falcon. They have a lot of musicians on the stage, truly like a big band. But they don't do big band music, they do rock pop sort of music.
Number 3 for you.
Number 3 is Modern Cinema Masters, 当代电影大师.
Yeah.
Their song is called 告诉我他们都在本地的什么地方
本来的。
告诉我他们都在本来的什么地方. I like this song a lot because it's energetic and it's unbelievably dry.
Yes.
Yes.
What's your association?
Well, it sounds to me like music with a lot of angry attitude, so that's why I would put it into the category of music like Rage Against the Machine. But
Rage
of course,
Against the Machine?
of course, they're not like Rage Against the Machine. But I have this feeling that all the members have like the same attitude towards music. They are working together as a band and they try to have the same attitude on the stage. And their music is just like very stripped down to the bare bone rock, this typical instrumentation.
Very naked.
Did you ever have the problem that some pipe broke or something in your house? So because when a pipe breaks in your wall, comes a company, it's like a water company, and they need to install a device. It's like a huge box that sucks the wetness out of the wall. It's like a big dryer. You need to have it like for 1 week to suck the liquid out of the wall. And this sounds like they had the drum set and then you put the drying machine next to the drum set for like 1 week and then they recorded the sound. It's so dry. But a fantastic song. I also had it very high.
But you know, they're from Taipei, and Taipei is a really humid city. And their music's really dry. Yeah.
If you produce it in another way, somehow add a lot of layers and make it undynamic or lo-fi, that would be a big mistake for this band. This production is tailored to this band.
Yes.
You feel that they are a really good live band through this record. Less is more kind of strategy.
I think I know where your Rage Against the Machine association comes from, because it had this whispering part, right? It had kind of 2 times where the singing would kind of and this is something that Zac de Rocha also sometimes does.
Go.
Yeah.
It's not enough, not enough, not enough.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Okay.
It's number 1, right?
Yeah, number 1.
Number 1.
Oh, we're excited. I was really surprised by this pick.
Me too.
Me too, honestly.
We can just do it together.
Yeah, let's do it together because we know it's the same. It's the same number 1.
And he is